All right, rock like Yahweh Shai. All right, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. And I would also like to say peace and blessings, salutations to the elect. All right, I'm Zahai, Spirit Wind Judah of the GMS, Mississippi County. All right, and today I want to go into basically us discontinuing from our heritage. Because if you look at America, man, there's a lot of different factors and things that took place in which the brother from the Dallas camp, he expounded on beautifully, him and Apostle Elder Ariamla, all right? And one of the things they took from us is our heritage pursuant to Jeremiah 17:4. So along with our heritage, went with our history and our feats and our accomplishments, and attaching ourselves to the men we read about in the scriptures. So now when you read about King David, King Solomon, growing up in America as an Israelite, you don't attach yourself to those people, man. And that plays a great role in you having no so-called ethnocentricity. One thing that the other nations have that we don't have, especially the Southern Kingdom, is ethnocentricity, man. All right. If you think about the Arabs, the East Indians, they, as soon as they're born, they pretty much have a culture that links them back. Say the East Indians, they have a culture that links them back to King Darius, Cyrus the Great. So they connect themselves with those great men, all right? Those so-called great men, all right? But we don't have that connection to link us back with men going back 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, because we were told we weren't those men. We were told that we're not the same as King David, King Solomon. We were told that we're not the same as Moses and Joshua. So we don't have that connection. The word lineage literally goes back to the word line. So we don't have that line that draws us back to our forefathers. Esau replaced that history with his story, with his version of how we came about. And it pretty much all started with the so-called transatlantic slave trade. And basically we made great slaves. We had strong immune systems, and we would outlast the so-called Native Americans, who are the Gadites according to the Bible, all right? So our frame of reference of ourselves is slavery, man. How can you esteem yourself in Babylon if your frame of reference of yourself is slavery, man? So in your subconscious mind, you basically born for failure as soon as you're so-called educated in America. Because as soon as you open up the history book, the beginning of you started on the plantation. And success for you is successfully assimilating and being acculturated into this society, man. So Jake develops a higher self-worth when he elevates in this society, man. That's where his self-esteem comes from. When he develops status in Egypt, man, in modern day Egypt, man. All right, but he's successful when he gets closer and closer to the status of the so-called white man. All right, he's not in the hood anymore, or even on the lower level. Jake's self-esteem increases when he could get a new car or new designer clothes or anything that attracts females. But he doesn't know when you're a king, you don't do those things because the world is yours. And we have nothing that attaches us to royalty, to the Most High, or anything. Even our attachment to the Most High is filtered through Christianity. So we have a pacifist religion that keeps us docile in captivity. So we feel bad for wanting recompensation and vengeance, man. But just as, illustrate a little thing they call ethnocentricity, we don't have that, man. Like you said, Jake proud of being in the hood now, man. That's how low we've got. Jake want to be a thug now, man. Jake takes pride in being a consumer. I spent a $300 on this, $1,200 for the cap, $1,200 for the jeans. Like, you take pride in being a consumer and empowering the people that's making money off your poverty, man. All right. So, like I said, Jake has no national pride, but that's a product of discontinuing from your real heritage. You have no lineage, no line that draws you back to Israel, all right? And this is the reality of it, all right? But with that, I hope you brothers are edified. To the next lesson, Shalom.